Tonight,
You're listening to the Doug Stanhope Podcast.
That mic. Check that mic, Doug.
Check, test.
I don't know if it's on. You know, I hear a lot of bar noises, which...
She just said barn noises.
I said bar noises.
Barn noises.
I didn't want to make
Did you say phone or foam? Brendon Walsh. We're just coming off the heels of a very
I'm exhausted.
ecstatic Brendan Burns.
I'm exhausted in a good way.
I am. We did one podcast once that's coming out later where Chad said to you as I'm pissing outside, thank God he just gave up on his notes and let this go the way it's going to go. And tonight I did that because there was nothing else to do. Brendon Burns is a force of nature.
Yes.
But I did have stuff I wanted to talk about from the last, and I go, I am fucking exhausted from him in a good way, like you say.
No, great. Effervescent, I think is
I have
a word.
Just one fun story from...
I want to give you notes on the last, or the one that's coming up. Don't get so deflated if all of a sudden our conversation turns into a conversation. Don't think you have to follow your agenda, even if it's you're doing something that has a beginning, a middle, and an end, because everyone here, most of them, are not comics, are just people talking to you. So don't deflate.
But I did that.
I know. I'm talking about you to me, not to Brendon. He was a fucking whirling dervish. And
but
was
the one
fantastic.
before, the Catherine Bertine, I had all sorts of notes. Yeah. The next one.
I think what I like about having to edit this thing is that it is a conversation. And I guess Tracy will put a Twitter poll up. Whether it should be more scripted.
I let that go, but I did. Like, he's only in town for one day. And let's tell our story. I just had some beats because I had a fun 2 weeks with Brendon Walsh, the other Brendon.
So you did this week you did Brea and Oxnard, and the previous week you did Irvine,
Ontario and San Jose. San Jose he wasn't there for. Oh, okay. But he was on all four of the ones that are close to LA, so he could drive home to his stupid baby. Stupid baby?
Is this dentist Brendon Walsh or realtor?
He changes it up.
Realtor.
I
think I need another beer, Tracy.
And we had great shows. Brendon, he's got his own situation going on. It took 2 weeks of 2 shows per week. You know, when we do like a major tour, at the end, you bring everyone up on stage and like, hey, we just
pictures.
Yeah, we just killed 2 months on tour. So in Brea, the second week, we're just doing
the second week of 4 shows.
LA adjacent, where Brennan goes home. So the second week of 2 nights.
Irvine is almost a 38-minute.
Well, if you're on Twitter, you might have seen where Brendon Walsh said after the first week in Ontario and Irvine, hey, I'm going to jump you into the gang. It's some inside joke he has where he's going to buy me these brownish orange driving loafers with a zipper. And I go, so I thought it was a joke. And then when I get back from week 1, here's those driving loafers in the mail. I wear a white driving loafer exclusively.
You wear a white slip-on, sir.
Yes, a slip-on driving loafer. This is the same shoe, but this is a brownish
No
orange.
zipper.
I found a suit. I had a beautiful orange jacket with some yellow-brown checkered pants and a tie that matched the socks and the shoes that he sent me. But it was very awkward after all these years of wearing a white driving loafer But I did this for Brendon Walsh, my friend. And at the end, the last night in Brea, you have to remember, is the place where is legendary for me having not a meltdown, but I was going to do the Joe Rogan podcast that afternoon, and I had some mushrooms. So
Wait, not this last time.
No, the first time I did Brea, LA adjacent,
which is kind of like a regentrified, like commerce area.
It's whatever
There's a Farrell's across the street.
Oh yeah, there is.
Yeah. I grew up in Fullerton. It touches Brea, right?
Everything touches everything in fucking Southern California.
Orange County. That has always been a place that's very, very cognizant of there being like artwork. Like they have city councils who actually they fucking do shit, right? And it's that master plan community there. On the surface, I would say fuck that, but the sushi's fucking awesome. The Farrell's
Kabuki, we went to Kabuki Sushi in 2 different towns.
A couple beer purveyors around there, which that's not our thing.
It's all improvs are like, even if it's not an actual mall, they're adult destination.
It's like a Burbank entertainment area.
Yeah.
In Orange County, which I love. Yeah.
It's easy.
Yes.
First night, week 1, we're doing Ontario. Fucking great show. Shut up, Meatwig. And it's row seating. So even the front row, there's only 2 people, but there's a couple there. So the husband is behind the wife. She's front row. I walk out and they have a copy of Digging Up Mother with a pen attached. And we've gone over this with Bertinia. Like, I hate my face on that cover. It's the grossest cover. I wish I could have changed that. So I just signed it right away to this older couple in their 60s, I guess, way older than us.
Not much.
Shut up, Meatwig. I'm trying to fucking... Oh, Henry's fucking with the cat. Good. They're trying to pick up the slack of Ichabod barking.
Oh, because I was going to say, listeners, the skew is towards more animal noises, less you and me talking. So, just so you know how the fans rate.
Yep. Twitter poll. So I signed their book, and now this woman is engaged. I opened by signing their book, so I don't have to stare at that at the front table. The only thing I can see is the front table.
You're on stage, and you're looking down, and you see a book with a pen stuck in it.
With my face that I hate on the fucking cover of the book. Yeah. Let me just do this right now. I didn't say it, but let me just get the autograph out of the way. And then I feel she's engaged because she keeps gesticulating throughout my show, and she's like doing hand motions. And I'm like, all right, you probably saw this bit before. And I'm the whole show, I'm trying to ignore her to the end where I'm talking about an alligator and I'm not going to, and she's like doing giant alligator slapping hands of
like a big arm horizontal.
Yeah.
Chomping alligator.
She's coaching me. She's staring right at me, and I know this.
Remember, it's the alligator.
It's like she's a human teleprompter of telling me how the bit goes.
Like in the old theater where they're in the clamshell.
And I'm working on the new special. I'm trying to get every beat right. And at some point, like I duck down behind the person next to her so she can't see me to keep fucking with my act. And and then she kept doing it. And I said, lady, come on. You're really fucking up my set. What do you act like you're a fucking deaf interpreter or something doing all this shit. And then I went back to my set, and 3 sentences later, I heard her husband behind her in the row seating.
Yeah.
Meh. I'm like, oh, fuck. She isn't doing deaf interpretation for the guy. And then it was I go, fuck, the guy is deaf. I'm sorry. Jesus. Yeah, big speed bump in the show. I have video of it that I'm like,
you want to save that?
My head turns even more red than just alcoholism. And he was a very nice guy. I tried to pay their tab. Fortunately, this is when tabs had already gone out. I'm like, can't you whisper when you do? Like, why do deaf interpreters have to go like big over the top?
Yeah, doesn't that mean shouting?
Can't you whisper with a couple of fingers twiddling like you're masturbating on a train? Why don't
Tracy knows ASL. She's shaking her head. You know enough of it. She's shaking her head when you said, can't you just whisper? How do you whisper in ASL? Tracy?
You don't. The facial expressions and the hands are all part of emoting exactly what the person's saying and how they're saying
gross.
It. That's all.
In the UK,
it's uncivil as well.
I used to do bits in the UK because instead of closed captioning, they would, like the late night news, they would have a live person on the lower corner of the screen,
like in a little picture,
doing this, like they're mocking retarded people, doing like what? You don't have fucking closed captioning.
That's old SNL.
It's an old SNL bit. In the old SNL bit, did they do what I did, where I just wet a napkin and put it on the TV screen over the person? I bet they did not do that.
So you're not distracted. That's fucking brilliant.
Fucking
actually, by the time this goes out, in the stand-up
anyone
store,
who watches
we'll have vinyl cling wrap squares with Doug Stanhope. And
if any of my fan base is a crossover of SNL, I'd be surprised.
Oh yeah.
I have crossover of suicide, murder, jail. No one like, hey, that's like an SNL bit. Really? They had a funny one? No, they didn't, because they forgot sticking a wet napkin over that guy mocking retarded people.
I just imagine a French person going, "Oh, SNL? I don't know." That sounds more Mexican. Sorry.
That was the first week's.
Well, you did.
Irvine sucked.
Really?
Yeah, they were just fucking dead, and I couldn't tell if is this me
or is it Orange County.
But I think like every time we've played Irvine, I just shit on them heavily. And I didn't have a lot of shit on you heavily.
Yeah.
They're the richest people in the fucking world. And so I've done a million bits. It's basically
Costa Mesa is where you're at the Irvine. Yeah.
And no, now I'm working on my special. Yeah. So it's not all about you. And maybe that's the reason. Hey, he usually tells us what pieces of shit we are. He didn't do that bit tonight.
So how was San Jose?
San Jose was great because I got to go to Original Joe's, shout out, one of the best. What's the name of the place we found in Madison? It's like a steakhouse.
I think it's Hurricane Room.
Hurricane Room. Yeah. This was like that.
I don't eat meat on a regular basis, and Tracy doesn't at all because you called me out the other night. I dream of just smelling the fucking Hurricane Room. That is how. Remember when you go, can we just get a ribeye?
That was such a great night.
That smell, I will live on that forever because I love the taste of meat. I just choose not to eat it. That is a place I will break what I do to
plan. Write this in your notes. The next tour in September is going to start in Madison, and we have to. No, maybe Milwaukee. We'll see.
We need a day off to go and day drink.
No.
Oh my God. Are you kidding me?
Me and Hennigan sat down laptop to laptop
what a waste.
and planned this. I didn't even have my road atlas or a calendar.
Not at the Hurricane Room.
No, to start
Joe's?
this tour.
Okay. Sorry.
I just be on the mailing list.
Yes.
It's going to go up north and then down through the East Coast north and then to the southeast.
You've said too much already, Mr. Stanhope. I need to stop.
Be on the fucking mailing list so you find out. I just had to map it out. Finally, I got to sit with Hennigan and look at driving times. Okay, what is it from Charlotte to Raleigh, etc.?
Be reasonable?
Yeah. And I told him, all right, I've mapped out the driving times. I put these dates in order I want you to book. If you can't do it, don't do it backwards.
Yeah.
What's happened too many times? Oh, well, we couldn't get Madison and Detroit.
So we're not doing Kansas to Denver again?
Yeah. No, on the way back we will, but that's on our way back.
On the way back. That's great.
Not those two towns.
So get on the mailing list. Go to DougStanhope.com.
Tracy.
What?
Tracy's fielding a call from Bingo.
Get on the mailing list because you will get first crack at all of these tickets. We do it geographically. So you put all your information in. Hennigan will get in touch with you. You get first crack at these tickets. That's the best way to do it.
Original Joe's in San Jose is this 1930s, 40s. Like you have bartenders, I'm the new guy and I've been here for 35 years.
Yeah.
And they know how to make proper drinks and the spaghetti and meatballs. And Paul Kimball, who will show up in the new special, was there to have dinner with me.
Great.
Thank you, Paul. Sorry you couldn't stay for the show. Understand your new predicaments.
Well, you got to buy a ticket if you want to go to the show.
But the second week.
Wait, hold on a second. What drink did you get at Uncle Joe's?
Manhattan, then old fashioned. They're old guys that make old drinks.
That's
those
great.
Old school. It's not even a steakhouse. It's kind of. It's almost like they have everything.
Yeah.
But it's from the 40s, and they dress up in. I was walking just around town trying to find a haircut and trying to find Original Joe's. Oh, a shout out to Jordan. I think that's his name. I was calling him Jasper.
Well, what's in a name?
I got an email, which I usually never respond to these. I get an email from a guy who says, hey, I'm an Uber driver, and I saw you're coming to San Jose. I'm coming to the show, but if you need a ride from the airport, which I actually did. I needed a ride from the airport to the airport hotel to drop off my shit to then get a Uber to meet Paul Kimball at Original Joe's for dinner. And I stayed sober. This is I can't remember the last time I stayed sober because I had to fly from John Wayne Airport in Irvine or Santa Ana.
Yeah, it's right there.
Through Phoenix.
What?
Yeah, I was flying American. We're going to get to this. This is I have a great story at the end of this. I Chad shanked the end of this fucking tour.
You're flying north and then east.
Because that's their hub.
West.
It's their hub.
I know. I get it.
So flying out of there, I stayed sober being in an Admirals Club. That's the Sky Club of American. I just get some weird like promotional status on American. So I go, yeah, all right. Because Delta's hub is Salt Lake. So it's way quicker. And they gave me some status. So I get bumped up a lot of times. So that trip after Irvine, I fly through Phoenix, 2 hours. I'm losing money, Chaille, because I've been bumped up.
Which means you're not drinking.
Yeah, I'm losing money because I'm not drinking. I drink on airplanes. That's why I fly in a day early, because I can't give up the free fucking drinks on first class, Admiral's Club for 2 hours, first class to San Jose. So I did not drink, and Jordan picked me up, dropped me off at the hotel to drop my shit, then dropped me at Original Joe's in San Jose.
This guy's just waiting around for you to go somewhere?
But he's an Uber driver.
No, I get it. But like he preemptively said, hey, if you need a ride, and then he was waiting for you, and then he just carted you around. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I'm saying how smart of that guy.
No, when he dropped me off, because it's early, it's 3 hours, 4 hours before the show. He's like, oh no, I can just turn myself back on and work for 3 hours till the show. Thank you very much, Jordan. It was very nice. And then Paul and I had dinner
and Uncle Joe.
A lot of cocktails. I still wound up really fucked up.
Wait a minute, you drank before show?
No, I didn't drink on three.
Wait, you had dinner with Paul Kimball and you drank because that's a social situation. So
yeah,
let's be honest.
But I didn't drink on those flights.
Yeah,
I spent a whole day of flying not drinking, which I don't do. I felt strong.
But you drank with Paul Kimball and then you went and did a show?
Yeah, and then I got really fucking hammered.
Drink too much. Uncle Joe.
I don't even know how I get home.
Oh, well, that's after the show. Before the show, were you wasted before you got to the fucking venue?
Nah, how do you quantify wasted with me?
Tracy, can I treat this person as a hostile witness?
I don't know.
Because that's not like you to drink pre-show like more than a couple drinks.
There was a couple drinks.
Yeah.
And I was hydrating, which has been forced into me because of Javelina and now
we could do an onstage
Birdie
outer what do they call that thing?
Urinal.
No, where they stick the tube inside you? Catheter. We can do an external catheter. They're very popular in Mardi Gras.
Oh. The show went fine, I guess.
Yeah.
Ontario was great. Irvine was shit.
San Jose.
San Jose. Well, I've been doing the whole thing. I'm working out this whole new.
San Jose was an improv, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're all improvs, even if they're Funny Bones or Levity Lives. They're all TGI Fridays.
No, we've done shows up in the San Jose area, and it wasn't an improv.
Well, that's Santa Cruz.
Do you remember that? Remember Santa Cruz? That fucking hotel and that bar called The Office or something?
Yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah.
This was not that. This is fucking.
When I saw you had San Jose and I wasn't gone, I'm like, oh my God, that fucking bar.
You have to understand, I'm focused on getting the set. I've done it backwards and forwards. Sometimes I go, I'm going to start with my closer, which I'll get to.
Do you want to explain that? The idea behind that?
Well, just to see how it works, because now I'm actually listening to it. Sometimes.
So you work the set straight through. Your
closer is what you go, oh, this is the best part of the set.
Yeah.
So when I've opened with my closer and worked backwards, I lose one callback, but I'm actually invigorated. I have gumption. I feel it. And then the other problem is this whole tour of working on my set is all in malls. There are improv comedy clubs where they drop tabs right where I should be hitting a stride for a closer, and that
explain dropping tabs.
You explained it. Dropping tabs
is in Doug builds up. Well, the comedy show builds up until a point to where he's getting ready to get off stage.
I'll explain it. Have you ever watched someone's comedy special on Netflix where right at the end, waitresses are dropping tabs and people are doing math and no one's listening?
There's a lot of...
yeah, that doesn't happen.
It's off-camera chatter. Yeah.
So for the last 3 dates, I'm working this out. I go, no, there's going to be no opener in Minneapolis for the 3 dates, my last 3 dates to go into Vegas.
Sold out.
They're sold out.
Yeah.
But no, there's going to be no opener. That way I can work out the special part first, and then I can work on shit I'll be doing on my next tour at the end while you're all dropping tabs and not listening. You're doing fucking... should we separate?
But we don't know them. They sat at the table. Did you put all those drinks on her? Because it's a 6 top and there's a 4 and they said that they could split it. Yeah, it's a fucking mess.
So by the time week 2 comes, I did Irvine, Ontario, San Jose.
Yeah.
Then for some reason, I wasn't thinking. I should have just stayed out there. You should have been on the road with me.
Well,
because I flew back for the weekend and then had to fly right back out to do Oxnard.
Oxnard, which is, if I ever move back to California and California doesn't split in half, northern and southern, Oxnard and Port Hueneme, I had a fiance for a while and she lived up there. I fucking loved it. Like north of Oxnard, Port Hueneme, it's near the coast. It's not LA. And you're enough.
As long as I flew into Santa Barbara, which is 40 minutes from Oxnard. I drink on airplanes, and this will come in handy.
That was a commuter flight
at the end of this.
Right?
Should we break? Because
yes, I have to know. Was that a commuter? That was a commuter flight into Santa Barbara. Was it a twin prop?
Well, no, it's American Airlines.
Really? Into Santa Barbara?
Out of Phoenix, yeah.
Oh.
This is why I flew American while I still had status. So
the stink is still on.
Pause. Just pause.
Hey, you know what? Let's get a
cocktail.
If you're in Columbia, Missouri, and you're looking for some feral cat salad, go to Saki Sushi and ask for Jesse.
We voted number 1.
This is Bingo. You are listening to the Doug Stanhope Podcast.
Hey, where were we?
Week 2. I'll get to it, but I brought...
Well, okay, week 2 is you're in Oxnard, and you just flew in from Santa Barbara, and then you drove out, and then you're going to end up going somewhere else.
Yeah, Oxnard was a fine show.
And that was Levity Live. Which, had you ever performed there before?
Yeah, that's the time fucking Johnny Depp and the entire crew show up. And they let us drink and smoke in the green room till this is a comedy club. It's like a movie theater, a comedy club. Yeah, we're done at 9:45.
But he had like Secret Service level.
Yeah, that shit. Yeah. And we drank in there and smoked in a phone booth green room till 2:30 in the morning, where only the manager who has... I'm not going to tell Johnny Depp to leave.
No, I'm up. Smokers. What do you guys need? Another bottle of Dom? Yeah. Ashtray's empty. Yeah, I'll do it.
Christy showed up, his sister.
Oh, yeah. Keenan?
No, he went on a motorcycle tour, but so it was just Christy, but they kept acting like with that kind of reverence. They were so great.
Yeah.
And we were there till like 11 at night. And we had fun. And then we had to drive.
It was a Tuesday. So all those people were either like delivering pizzas or changing diapers.
I'll tell you a story. I'll tell you a story where Christy Depp, we had a stalker who you might remember. Not a stalker.
What are you doing?
But,
don't do this.
No. It's no. He
it's
needs
a stalker story that ends good.
No, you know this guy. He's a Heart Attack Mike.
Oh, yeah.
Heart Attack Mike was a guy that came to Chattanooga, Tennessee. And he had emailed me, I think, that he had was about to have open heart surgery that he might not live through, but he pushed it off so he could come see my show at that fucking old church in Chattanooga. So I made him a celebrity for the night, but then he got the open heart surgery and he didn't die. And so forever, he thinks, well, yeah, that's a good story, but we're not, and we actually, in 2016, years after Heart Attack Mike has been coming to the shows, like we had to run from him after a book signing at Book Soup. We actually ran to ditch that guy, and like he just keeps coming and acting like he's like part of the podcast. It's like, and he showed up at Oxnard, the door host. Hey, do you know a guy named Heart Attack Mike? He says he's coming backstage.
That's his moniker?
Yeah, well, this is what I called him. But, I mean, this is many years later.
That was in 2012 at the Lindsay Street Hall. It was a converted church.
Yeah, that's 7 years ago. He just keeps showing up just because I made, like, a fun for him about, hey, that was kind of cool. You put off. Yeah, that doesn't make us friends. And 2016, he's there, and we literally ran to get away from him because he's like, oh, we're gonna hang out and talk. And so he shows up beforehand when I'm talking to Christy. The door guy says, hey, do you know Heart Attack Mike? And me and Hennigan just go, oh, fuck. It keeps coming. It keeps coming.
Seems like your moniker is a little off.
And I said, as I told the people, I will come out after the show. If you bought shit, I'll sign it. I'll be there after the show. And so that wasn't enough. Then he goes to the sound man. So while Christy and I are talking,
good move.
The sound man doesn't know better, and he walks in going, hey, you have a guest. And he walks in. I go, Mike, you know better than this. I'll see you after the show. Well, other times I've been welcomed into the... So then after the show, after I've announced on stage, hey, I'll sign your shit. I'm going to smoke for 20 minutes and then I'll come out, let the dead weight leave. I'll go sign your shit. Immediately after the show, he's pounding on the green room door. And in Oxnard, if you remember, you weren't there.
I wasn't there.
Yeah. There's the club entrance and then the...
it's a comedy club. So
but there's an entrance out the back. So
the dumpster where they take the trash.
And Christy Depp, who's dealt with this plenty of times with Johnny Depp, she's like, I'll handle this. She's so fucking great. Yeah. I'll handle this. And she's like, he left, he's out front, and then he comes around to the emergency exit door of the green room, pounding on that. Sure. And we go, we know who this is. And the club was so great. Like I'm not going to go out there if that fucking asshole is out there. And we can hear him through the wall yelling at security, no, we have personal business that I need to face with him. Like, you just get so bigger dick and a bigger dick. Yeah. If you listen to the podcast before this, yes, Burnsy, that's why we have security cameras, because you never know when that guy's going to show up and think, oh, he made fun of me one night and had me applauded. So he finally, they have to remove him from the mall property. He's outside. He's banging on every door and they finally have to remove him. And then I go out and then by then there's like 10 people who are still waiting for a signature.
Manageable.
Yeah, no, it's great. And thank you for understanding. Yeah, I can't fucking deal with people who think that it's more than a show.
Yeah.
For fucking 7 years.
You know, we're at the point. We haven't talked about this. We're at the point now where we need to curtail this. We need to stop doing it. I mean, I know you consider it, hey, this is Chaille's money. This is how it's a thing where you're
I'll put this out for the Twitter people, which, Twitter people are not necessarily the only fan base. But we talked about this where Ron White and other people, they do a VIP, you pay more for a meet and greet, which is no more than what I do. Yeah, we'll hustle you through, take a picture. I don't know how to go about this. Everyone that's listening that's been to a comedy show knows someone that's been called out or made into hey, I appreciate you for being here. That's not a lifelong obligation. But it is to him. But when he went fucking crazy at the end,
yeah,
I need to talk to a man. All right, that's crazies. And I understand I attract crazies, but I don't tolerate what happened. And we talked about this where before this tour, I sent out tweets. Hey, I will not be doing merch.
Yeah.
After any of these shows. But if you buy merch from DougStanhope.com/store, I will sign that afterwards. And now I realize, well, now I'm more fucked because I'm not selling merch. You're not making any money. Wait, stay with me.
I know, I got it.
But all these people will be lined up to take cell phone pictures, which they have to ask if it's okay to take cell phone pictures.
Managing.
And then the Improv is managing this.
Good.
They set it up. Like Rogan, the last time I saw Rogan at a club, he was taking a picture with everyone. He's not selling merch. He's just letting everyone fucking take a picture. And it's longer than his set to go through this fucking line because no one knows how to use their camera or is it okay? And then they have a long story.
What do you know?
You know that podcast you did 4 years ago? It changed my life. And I understand it did, but I need to get the fuck out of here. And all the magic that you've created for a few people on stage is wasted. So now I'm not selling merch, but the Improv is overzealous in their, so that first night in Ontario, the deaf guy and his wife, I'm kind of a chem guy. I have 94% pure blow. I made just for you. I'm like, but I can't. Well, it's not a thing I've ever experienced. It's real pure blow, like gum your numbs shit. And I'm like, I would love to try it, but I'm on the first night of this tour. I can't travel with this, and I'm not going to do fucking blow in a Hampton Inn in a mall with Brian Hennigan. He doesn't understand the references. And I'm going, no, and he wouldn't take it back.
Wrong place, wrong time.
And so I just chucked it to.
Wow, really?
Yeah, I chucked it to because the Improv security team is there having this procession line, and then another guy gives me a brown paper bag of mushrooms.
Oh my god!
And I can't travel with this, and I'm not going to do mushrooms in a Hampton Inn, sharing a room with Brian Hennigan. He wouldn't take it back. that one of the door guys actually pocketed that. Anyway.
Actually, that's a tip to the door guys.
Yeah.
You want to work table security for
Are we at break time? Because I can. This is a good time to break.
15 minutes, so we're good.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. We're good.
Because the next week
would be the Oxnard Brea.
So yeah, Oxnard hangout. Brea, if you don't know or remember, Brea is the first time I played there. Joe Rogan
At the
had
Improv?
me. The Brea Improv.
Yeah.
They've moved locations, but
It's on
the
Bassin-
memory is still.
Cherry and Imperial.
Well, it's
grew up on
new from where it was.
Yeah.
Either way, the memory is still a stain. Where I was coming from like Irvine up to Brea, and
Wait.
I had
because you flew into Santa Ana.
I did mushrooms that morning.
What? Wait.
Going into
You said mushrooms in morning. That doesn't usually.
But that I'm saying this. So this is years ago.
Oh.
This is why I don't do the mushrooms that I give to door guys. I did mushrooms knowing it's going to be a long Uber ride to Joe Rogan's Chatsworth, wherever the fuck he does his podcast. So I did mushrooms. Then I started drinking on the podcast while I'm tripping. And then I thought, oh, I'm ballsy enough to do Joe Rogan's weed, which, as you know, I don't smoke
You
weed.
smoked weed? Oh, I remember this. The only times I've ever known that you smoked weed was that and Douglas.
Getting high with Doug.
Getting high with Doug. Yeah.
And I only smoked that because I wanted a cigarette so bad at like 7 a.m. I'll just smoke whatever you got. It never works for me. And then Rogan had to drive me to my show that night at the Brea Improv, where Rogan actually tweeted an apology the next day. If you went to the Doug Stanhope, I couldn't make sentences. I couldn't talk. I was so fucked. Like real fucked. Like sleeping in the dog bed fucked. And had to go on stage. Let's take the break now because the strong story comes out of this. All right, we'll be right back. Cocktails, click, hang on.
I think you just phoned that in.
Yeah, I know, because I'm
Ready?
going to keep talking. Go.
Cocktail. Wait, ready?
Cocktails!
Jesus.
He's overproducing again.
Are you having legal trouble and don't know where to turn?
Trying to find an attorney you can trust?
Do you think you've been cheated out of contingent compensation of back-end proceeds from third parties in the territory defined as North America and Mexico, including but not limited to all ancillary and subsidiary rights, whether audio only, audio, video, or otherwise?
Don't let a legal entity based in a midshore jurisdiction for legal or other purposes kick sand in your face.
Not me.
Call Eric Greenspan at the law offices of My Man Greenspan, Feynman, Fox, Rosenberg, and Light.
Eric Greenspan, when physical intimidation isn't enough.
Call Eric Greenspan, 310-820-7717.
And keep calling.
Mention Kenny for mayor and get 10% discount.
This advertisement has been approved.
So we do Oxnard. We're back, right? Right?
Well,
We do Oxnard.
When I get my beer, we'll be back.
Brendon Walsh had some problems early on, like just his regular life. You know, Brendon Walsh is the party starter. And for the first week, he was, yeah. And it was just like his life shit. Sorry, I didn't have kids. You did. And then other shit. He was not the Brendon Walsh. But by the second week, he was back. And if you look at
the third show, when he says second week, we mean the third show.
the last show of the second week. I was doing 3 shows. I realized I fucked up the math because he only did 2 shows, Irvine, Ontario. He wasn't at San Jose. Yeah. And then so the second week was 2 shows that he's driving back and forth to home.
He's sleeping in his bed at night.
Yeah.
And you're sleeping with a Hennigan.
But between those, we had a weekend off, and he's tweeting me. If you look at the Twitter, hey, I'm going to jump you into the gang. Are you willing to wear these shoes? These fucking orange shoes. So now it's back to old Brendon Walsh, where we're fucking around, and when he'd bring me up, we'd put our shoes up together, these dumb shoes, these driving loafers that are orange-ish, brownish.
Do you remember that one show where Brendon wanted to go up like in between like the host and the middle act, and it was some fucking place upstairs, and Brendon goes, I want you to bring me up, and I'm a blind guy. And we brought him up to the stage, and he was looking 90 degrees to the right and addressing everyone as if he's looking stage right the whole time. And it was so fucking funny. And then there was another one where he was a clown that was afraid of balloons. It was
I know.
When you said
the clown,
I never even thought about it until you said the old Brendon Walsh. I remember these things where like he would just say, Chaille, I'm doing this. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And
don't have kids is what I meant. Don't be a writer in Hollywood. It's like he had serious issues. Like, I'm not downing him for being, but second week we hit a stride. So yeah. Brea was
the fourth night.
That's where I had the breakdown show with Joe Rogan,
years
where
ago.
I couldn't see the fucking audience. I couldn't make a sentence. Joe Rogan had to tweet the next day, hey, if you were at the Brea show for Doug Stanhope last night, I take full responsibility. Hashtag weed ain't for everyone.
Was this when you were pissing out the car door?
No, that's years ago. But no, so this was a show. This is after that whole mushroom, alcohol, weed, smoking thing. He had to drive me to that show, which we barely made it in time.
From Chatsworth?
I don't know where.
Yeah, he was out there before his new location. So, wow. He's a friend. That's more than an airport run.
He is. So this Brea show, I expected the worst. Hennigan said the ticket sales are not good for a reason. Based on that show. Yeah. The fucking crowd. It was the best crowd. Really? And I brought Brendon out like we do at the end of a long tour.
Oh, that's awesome.
I go, hey, listen, Brendon, stay with me because, at the end of the tour, it's customary to thank everyone involved. And this is a 2-day tour. We just did a 2-day tour, and I want to thank everyone.
50 miles apart.
And I can't remember the last time we toured together. Oh, wait, that was last week on the 3-day tour. Forgetting he didn't do the San Jose date. It was another 2-day tour.
Someone else.
And then we put up our matching brown shoes that he had bought me to jump me in the gang that I'm wearing right now.
Someone else had them, too.
Johnny Pemberton.
Yes.
Yeah. You have to follow at Brendon Walsh.
Head principal, Brendon Walsh.
He changes it.
Well, yeah, that's what it is.
But it's at Brendon Walsh. He's the funniest motherfucker. And we had the greatest night, the greatest audience. I did my set backwards for the special that I'm filming next week. And I'm like, oh, I think this is better. It made more questions.
How did you handle the reverse callback?
Because
Tracy and I were wondering about that because you told us about it last week.
You'll find out in the new special. We get to film 3 shows to make the new special. So I'll do it 2 ways. One way the other. And Hennigan will edit. Fucking great night.
That's great. I love Brea.
Flying back. Here's my story.
Okay. So where did you fly out of? Orange County again?
Yeah, back through SNA, John Wayne Airport.
Santa Ana Airport, John Wayne Airport.
This time, I can drink. That one trip.
They don't have a Sky Club at Santa Ana, do they?
Yes, they do.
They do?
Well, no,
Delta
Admirals Club.
Admirals Club.
I was doing this American Airlines thing. Sorry, Delta. I cheated on you for a little bit. I'll be honest, but I'm coming right back to you. So had several drinks there. Then get on the plane. Had a couple drinks. Then had a 3-hour layover in Phoenix. Had a lot of drinks, but I did buy.
Wait, well, hold on. You talked about this before. Where did you go in Phoenix? Applebee's or whatever, the Chili's or something is the only place you can drink.
No. That first time. No, we didn't talk about this because that's the lost podcast that didn't get recorded.
No, I said Phoenix has a lounge that's non-specific to airlines. I told you about it.
No, that's San Jose.
Nope. That's Phoenix.
All right. Either way.
Sky Harbor has...
Okay. At the beginning of this whole thing, I went through Phoenix Airport every time between flights. So I was there like 6 times. Yeah. And the first time, Phoenix Airport fucking sucks. And they have basically 1 bar per concourse. So I went up. I don't fly American. I'm a Delta guy. And I went to the Sky Club and they said, oh, it's going to cost you $60 to get into the Sky Club here, the Admirals Club. And unless you sign up for this credit card. I'm like, fuck this. So I go back down to the 1 bar, which there's not 1 single seat open in that bar because they only have 1 fucking bar per concourse. And then I had to slink back up to the Sky Club. All right, I'll get this fucking credit card. So on the way back after the second week, now I'm now I have full credit. Oh, this is another thing where all right, that's so off topic.
What?
Well, you can get 2 people in to the Sky Club, their Admirals Club. You can bring 2 people in once you apply for this fucking credit card. So I was going through, we're on a flight that's late. Everyone else is missing their flight. And so I go, hey, does anyone want to go to the Admirals Club? And then one lady was hip to the fact that I did not know the people I'm bringing in. See, it's off topic.
Did she call you on it?
Let me just get to my fucking good story. Coming home from the last of this.
Brea. You're leaving Brea.
Admirals Club at SNA, Santa Ana. Cocktails. 3-hour layover. Phoenix. Which is so fucked up because 3-hour layover and what they call an hour flight that's 23 minutes. It's 4 hours from Phoenix to Tucson, which is an hour and a half drive. But you've been drinking. The bartender sees both of us, Chaille and I, when we fly, even Tracy and Bingo.
We dress for the event.
We dress for the event, but we fly Delta. We're proponents, even though they give us no credit. I have vintage Delta pins from the 70s, 80s, 90s. And we wear them, and they notice them. Oh, that's a great... And then I buy more. There's a big pile right there. And when you have a flight attendant that's really
pilots
cool...
notice them. I've had pilots, when you're walking out of the plane, say, hey, nice pin. And I didn't have a spare, so I didn't give it to him.
Oh, you will now.
I should have given it to him.
Just because I was doing 2 weeks on American, I bought 3 vintage pins. Oh, nice. One AA, and the other 2 were themed. One was a snowman pin. The other was a Boo Halloween themed. Oh, but it was too small. It matched my orange outfit that I was wearing.
Your outfit this last tour, I gave you props on Twitter, or I told you personally.
Brian said, "Oh, so you might wear that orange for the special."
Well, you'd have to talk to whoever's doing the photography to find out if that might not play well. Because honestly, like that was a smoking set. That tie with that jacket, and then muting it with a cream colored shirt. Fucking genius. Sorry.
I said that on stage. No. I go, listen, maybe you heard some of these bits before. I don't know. But I put together a perfect suit. So if you've heard this before, just remember, I put more effort into the suit than I did the act. Because I know the act. I just have to know how it works perfectly for this special.
If it's gonna taste good with this suit. Listen, basically Tracy, Chad, and I are driving out your suits to the special in Vegas. And I need to see something better than what you did this last week. That is the bar that you need to get past.
It's green. Striped green. I'm gonna bring your wife.
I have to see it.
All right, let's get done with this. Because I got on the plane out of Brea. Now I can drink. And they have an Admirals Club. I'm never going to fly American again. I had a brief window of where they gave me free status. And if you...
They passed you over. By the way, Phoenix will be getting a Delta Sky Club in 2019, sometime in 2019. Maybe you can...
And they're going to kill smoking in Atlanta, but let's not just focus on the negative. I drank at 12:30. I know I got there 2 hours early, as I always do. So I start drinking at 10:30 in the morning at SNA. Then I have a 3-hour layover in Phoenix for the 23-minute flight from Phoenix to Tucson, which is stupid, but I get to drink for free. And that's just losing money if you don't do it. I'm making up for that time I didn't drink the week before. So, on the plane, the 23-minute plane, this is I hate Chad Shank is not here for this. On the 23-minute plane, I got bumped up to first class.
Oh, how
and
great.
This is on a 23-minute flight. This is a 9-seater. There is one seat on the first 3 rows and double seats on the other 3 rows. It's a very compact first class. It doesn't matter. And there's a girl. She reminded me of April from the Coach and Horses days. She's a gangly, cute girl that didn't know quite what she was doing. You know she's a trainee, and she's not...
All teeth, no gums?
Just... I don't know about that. She was a lot of teeth. Because she smiled. All right, I'm going to have to back up. Because of Valentina Javelina and Catherine Bertine, Bertinia, Libertine, Birdie, however you call them. I really have developed a positive attitude, and I text with them a lot. And so I write like positive things. Hang on, I get the fucking guys' names. Ryan was on one of these 2 weeks of flights. He was a goofball that looked like Crispin Glover and like a very odd duck, but he had a strong personality. And so I'd write notes. Hey, listen, you're doing great and you should do more. Like I write positive fucking messages. Yeah.
Did you send it to him?
No, I hand it to him.
Oh, you wrote a hand.
I do this a lot.
To a Crispin Glover looking motherfucker.
You only know negative me on planes, and now
I'm sorry if I don't believe what you're saying.
Amanda,
right now. I've got 25 years of experience to say
the boo pin.
I don't know who I'm looking at.
AA right Boo, which I bought that vintage AA American Airlines Boo as like because I'm a Delta guy, and I thought, if someone notices that, like they do the Delta pins, I can go, no, that's AA Boo, like Boo your airline. Or, no, that's not even AA American Airlines. It's Alcoholics Anonymous Boo. So get me a drink. But it was so small. But I gave that to Amanda, who was a flight attendant that would talk to you like a bartender at a bar that was empty. She was just like talking about her job and shit and like inside information, but
annoyingly or like
no, great. And that was where I was not bumped up to first class and we're whatever comfort
plus.
And we're me and the guy at the window seat are hoping no one sits here. And she goes, "Oh no, I have an app that'll tell you if someone's going to sit that middle seat." No, you're good. I'm like, yeah, high five.
Really?
Yeah. She was just like a cool chick.
American has that?
Yeah, she got the boo pin.
Nice. I think we need to,
She, not only, when I gave her the pin that I bought for, $7.99 on eBay, well, yeah, it's a short flight. When they came through the drinks, I go, yeah, I'll take a gin and tonic. No, make it a double gin and tonic. And she gave me 2 gins. Oh, did you come over? Yeah. I had the lighter in my hand. Yeah. Chaille just came around. Well, because I'm trying to finish the sentence.
I know, but you're like standing there with an unlit cigarette, and our bartender is sitting in the lounge chairs, and it was driving me nuts. It's like, just smoke and relax.
I've watched old sets of mine.
I'm sorry I did that.
Like no refunds where I have a beer in my hand and I keep starting to drink it.
Yeah.
And I don't. I remember
it's
not on the special.
Cuts. It's hesitation cuts for a cutter. The alcohol. All right, I liked it. I
got two free Bombay Sapphire mini bottles.
Nice.
Being positive, and then at the end of that flight, which was 53 minutes, probably that one, I got a tap on the shoulder from the seat behind me, and she just held up a Hershey's Kiss. And I had Muddy Bears so I ate her, and I handed her back Muddy Bears.
She held up something and you took it from her?
Yeah, this is, right. Well, it's first class. You trust these people.
Oh, shit. That's right.
But it was just random. She tapped me and just gave me a Hershey's Kiss. Yeah. So I handed back my box of Muddy Bears, and she took them. And then I had the 2 empty mini bottles of Bombay Sapphire, our beautiful light blue bottles. Beautiful bottle. I ripped off the tag of my boarding pass, and I wrote "thanks for the kiss," and I rolled it up and put it in the bottle, capped it, and she's like, "Oh my God, I got a message in a bottle."
Wait, like you're throwing it in the ocean?
Well, I handed it back. I'm just saying, I was very fucking positive.
Yeah.
This is where the worm turns.
I'm uncomfortable. Okay, good. Good. This is when you go to bed at night wasted, and Bingo and I both wake up early and go, we got to get out of here. He's not up yet. We're waiting.
Hang on. Come on in. Come on in, Scott. This is the payoff. Coming back to Tucson.
Yeah.
On that 23-minute flight, that trainee, the nice, gangly lady, well, evidently, when you're in first class, even if it's 23 minutes, he had he was a suit guy. He's a suit. So he probably had some expensive suit.
Not your suit.
No. I had a beautiful orange suit.
Brooks Brothers.
This comes back.
This is off the rack.
Don't bury the lead, as they say. So this guy, and this is why sometimes drinking is important, because this guy, as we get our pre-23-minute flight from Tucson to Phoenix to Tucson flight, he's got his jacket that he wants holstered in the, hang up my jacket because I'm in first class. Well, she had taken too long with the handing out drinks, and the lady that's training her, he's like, why did you put my jacket, hang up my jacket? She goes, we can't do that. We're already taxiing, so we can't open that up. And he starts gesticulating like Lewis Black. This is outrageous. No. Can you believe it? And he says, does anybody get this? Is anyone on my side? However he said it. And I thought I was the only, because he's in 1A, I'm in 2A, and I thought I was the only one that heard it. But no, all of the only tiny 3 rows of first class.
4 rows, yeah.
3 rows, 9 seats. They're like, yeah, you are on your own. Like, you should. And I'm like, oh, fuck.
You're the first one we kill.
And so for the 22 more minutes, I'm like, oh, fuck, what would Chad Shank do?
Oh, man.
I fucking hate this guy. He's just some miserable cocksucker in a fucking suit. He thinks, yeah, as soon as we're in the air, you could hang it up. But,
entitlement. That's the fucking word.
But all of first class had been with me, and the guy right across the aisle says, what do you do for a living? And I said stand-up comic, which is the dumbest thing to say, but he was making a point. Like, what if it was her second day doing this? And he goes,
whose second day?
The Janine from American Eagle.
Tracy said FA, it's very appropriate.
FA is flight attendant.
I understand.
Yeah, no, we know the nomenclature.
Well,
he goes, what would you do if that guy was like heckling you on your, like, and we bonded? And he goes, but you're a stand-up comic. You could probably work this into your act. A common thing. I go, cause already I'm rapid cycling how I'm going to fuck this guy as soon as we land. Don't do it in the air.
No, that's a felony in the air.
Yeah. So I'm already going through all this shit. And I said, wait till we land.
Yeah.
He put me to a place where, all right, yeah, all this shit that you fantasize about, now I have to do it. So when we get to the jetway.
So wait. Before he said anything, were you going to put this guy in his place?
Yeah, that was at the.
So you had already figured on doing it, and
I was calling Chad Shank in to have him killed. You know how you fantasize about stuff. But once that guy says, "Oh, you can put this in your act," I go,
"Now you say."
I go, "Wait till we land. Now I have to do something."
Now you have an audience.
So as soon as we're at the jetway to deplane, I said, "Hey, everybody!" I stood up. Hey, everybody!
No fucking way.
If I had, this would be viral on fucking Newser right now. If
I was there,
if you were there, but once you start filming,
you fucking stood up in the plane and announced.
As we're at the jetway, I said,
have a bomb.
"Hey, how about a big round of applause for our trainee Janine?" Because all of first class that have heard this cocksucker shitting on her, I said, "All right, some people in first class think they can berate a trainee that's trying her best because they have a jacket for their suit that might get wrinkled in the 3 minutes it stays on their lap on a 33-minute flight." And then the other people that are training her, I'm yelling, the three rows.
Standing up?
I'm standing up and I'm talking back to all of Coach.
Oh, the sullied.
Yeah, I'm projecting. Because some people think that their jacket might get wrinkled in 3 minutes of a 23-minute flight, and the people training her have to say, "I'm sorry," because that's their job. But I don't have to say I'm sorry. You don't have to say I'm sorry. So join me if you like. This is what I would say, and I got right in his face.
"No,
fuck you!" Right in his face. He wouldn't look up from his knees, and then he had to sit there waiting for minutes.
Yeah. Captain
I got fucking high-fived at baggage claim. And it's one of those times where I go, "Can I really pull this off?" Yes, I can, because I'm drinking. And if I weren't drinking, and
I was going to say, it's interesting because I don't think you would have gone to that. You didn't know you were going to go to that extreme until I think your neighbor said something.
Absolutely.
I have to do this.
Yeah.
To an extreme that I would never have gone to until I knew everyone was watching. You're a professional.
I came back to the Tucson Airport Hotel beaming with such pride that I actually did it. Sometimes you think about it, and occasionally you do it. Yeah. And that guy's a fucking cunt. He's breaking a fucking girl's. Before that, sorry, it's in my notes. Bobby from the Phoenix fucking Wendy's on the B course, Bobby, who I thought might be Robert Guillaume. He looked like Robert Guillaume, but I know he's
Robert
dead.
Guillaume's dead, yeah.
Yeah. I only know that because of Doug Stanhope's Celebrity Death Pool. He started fucking, I went to get a sandwich and before that flight, and some Guatemalan squat lady, "Oh, you're not supposed to check out till 3:00, so you're going to leave at 3:05. And I go, "Really? You're going to berate an employee?" No, please continue berating a minimum wage employee while keep going. And then he said, "Yeah, that would be funny if I wasn't kidding." And then I realized he was just trying to be funny. But I'm a goddamn savior of the people. Scott's here. Gotta go.
Well, I do want to say that in Phoenix, the club is a non-specific lounge. I've told you about it in the past.
I want to make a plug for how you know what lounges are in what airports. You get the Lounge Buddy app, and it will tell you if it's got a Delta Sky Club, Admirals Club, or another club that you can just get into by paying $20 or $40 to get in.
And you'll never hear that plug again unless they sponsor us. So fuck them.
Absolutely, because honestly, I think we're giving the keys to the city here. Because
that's how we found.
Honestly, we like. I love that there's no one in there and no one's figured it out yet. But the club in Phoenix, that's a good one. Wingtips in St. Louis is another one. They're non-specific to airlines, but you got to pay cash. Pay cash to you.
Pay cash. All right.
Let's get out of here.
I gotta go talk to Scott.
We just fucking squeaked by, Doug. Let's go.
Good. Goodbye.